My detox went horribly wrong. I'm seeing things. The shaking started before the sweating. Just a tremor in my hands, barely noticeable. By noon, my whole body vibrated like a cheap phone on silent. I hadn't slept in 36 hours, not really. Just dozed fitfully, plagued by nightmares that felt too real. I told myself it was the alcohol. 6 packs a night, sometimes more, for God, I didn't even want to think about how long. And the oxys, prescribed for back pain after that stupid snowboarding accident, but long since turned into something else. Something darker. Just gotta get through the first few days, I muttered, pacing my cramped living room. My apartment felt smaller than usual, the walls closing in. The peeling wallpaper seemed to mock me, its floral pattern twisting into grotesque faces in my peripheral vision. The first thing I saw was a flicker, a shadow in the corner of my eye, gone before I could focus on it. Just tired, I mumbled, rubbing my bloodshot eyes. I tried to eat something, a dry piece of toast, but my stomach churned. I dry heaved over the sink, the taste of bile acrid in my mouth. Sarah called, my sister, a nurse. She knew what I was doing, or at least she knew I was trying to do. How are you feeling, Mark? Her voice was calm, professional, too calm. Great, I lied. Never better. Don't be an idiot. You know you should be doing this in a hospital. I can handle it, I insisted. I just need to get this crap out of my system. Call me if anything changes, she said, her voice laced with concern. Yeah, I hung up, feeling a surge of resentment. She didn't understand. Nobody did. That night the shadow returned. It was clearer this time, a vaguely human shape lurking in the doorway of my bedroom. Tall, impossibly thin, its head tilted at an unnatural angle. I froze, my heart hammering against my ribs. Who's there? I croaked, my voice trembling. The figure didn't move. It just stood there, a silent, menacing presence. I fumbled for the lamp, my hand shaking so badly I almost knocked it over. When I finally switched it on, the doorway was empty. Okay, I said aloud, trying to control my breathing. That was just a hallucination. Withdrawal. I went to bed, but sleep was impossible. Every creak of the floorboards, every rustle of leaves outside my window sent shivers down my spine. I kept seeing the figure in my mind's eye, its blank, featureless face burned into my memory. The next day was worse. The nausea was relentless, the tremors uncontrollable. I couldn't keep anything down. I was sweating so much I had to change my clothes every hour. And the thing, it was everywhere. In the reflection of the TV screen, in the dark corners of the room, even superimposed over the faces of people I passed on the street. It was changing too, becoming more defined, more grotesque. Its limbs elongated, its body contorted into unnatural shapes. Its face, once blank, now hinted at a twisted, malevolent grin. I started writing things down, desperately trying to hold onto reality. A journal filled with shaky handwriting and frantic ramblings. Day 3. I saw it again, in the bathroom mirror. It was right behind me, its breath cold on my neck. I screamed, but no sound came out. Day 3 later. I tried to eat some soup. The spoon bent in my hand. I swear it did, like something was pressing down on it. Day 4. It's talking to me now, whispering things I can't understand, but I know it's not good. It wants something from me. Dr. Evans, my primary care physician, was starting to sound worried too. He'd initially prescribed the anxiety medication, and now he sounded hesitant and cautious. Mark, are you experiencing any unusual symptoms? He asked during a phone consultation. Just the usual, I lied, my voice hoarse. You know, sweating, shaking, the jitters. Are you seeing things, hearing things? No, doc, just a little stressed. He sighed. I'm going to prescribe you something to help with the anxiety, but I want you to promise me you'll consider going to a detox center. This is a dangerous process, Mark. You can't do this alone. I hung up the prescription sent to my pharmacy. I knew he was right, but I couldn't bring myself to admit it. I was too proud, too stubborn. Brian, a coworker, stopped by. He was oblivious to everything, just wanted to check in. Hey man, you haven't been at work for a few days. Are you okay? You look like you've seen a ghost. I forced a smile. Just a bad flu, I said. I'll be back in a few days. He looked around my apartment, his expression shifting from concern to something else. Discomfort, maybe. All right, man, he said. Get some rest. After he left, I boarded up the windows. I couldn't stand the light anymore. It made the thing too visible. I armed myself with knives, keeping one under my pillow, another strapped to my leg. I knew it was irrational, but I couldn't shake the feeling that I was in danger. The thing was getting closer, more aggressive. It started manipulating objects in my apartment, turning on the TV in the middle of the night, slamming doors, moving furniture. One night I woke up to find it standing over me, its face inches from mine. I couldn't breathe, couldn't scream. It felt like something was pressing down on my chest, suffocating me. I thrashed and struggled, but I couldn't break free. Then just as suddenly as it started, it was gone. I sat up in bed, gasping for air, my body drenched in sweat. I ran to the bathroom and stared at myself in the mirror. My eyes were bloodshot, my face pale and gaunt. I looked like a stranger. "Who are you?" I whispered to my reflection. "What are you doing to me?" The reflection didn't answer, but I saw something flicker in its eyes, a hint of that twisted, malevolent grin. I recoiled in horror, stumbling backward. I smashed the mirror, shattering it into 1,000 pieces. That's when I lost it. I started screaming, tearing at my hair, smashing everything in my apartment. I was convinced that the thing was inside me, trying to take over. I grabbed a knife and started slashing at my arms, trying to cut it out. The pain was intense, but it didn't matter. I had to get rid of it. I called 911, my voice hysterical. "There's a monster in my house," I screamed. "It's trying to kill me." The operator sounded bored, annoyed. "Sir, are you under the influence of drugs or alcohol?" "No," I cried. "Please, you have to help me. We're sending someone to check on you, sir," she said. "Please remain calm." I hung up and barricaded myself in my bedroom. I knew it wouldn't stop the thing, but it was all I could do. I waited, trembling, listening to the sounds of my own ragged breathing. Then I heard a noise, a soft scratching sound at the door. "Go away," I screamed. "Leave me alone." The scratching continued, growing louder, more insistent. I grabbed the knife and stood by the door, ready to fight. The door burst open and Sarah rushed in. "Mark," she cried, her face etched with worry. I didn't recognize her. All I saw was the thing, its face twisted in a demonic sneer. I lunged at her, screaming, the knife raised high. She screamed and stumbled backward, knocking over a lamp. The room plunged into darkness. I swung the knife wildly, feeling it connect with something soft. Then everything went black. I woke up in a hospital bed, my arms restrained. My head was pounding, my body aching. Sarah was sitting beside me, her eyes red and swollen. "What happened?" I croaked. She didn't answer. She just looked at me with a mixture of pity and horror. "You attacked me, Mark," she said softly. "You almost killed me." I stared at her, trying to understand, but the thing, it was there. She shook her head. "There was nothing there, Mark. Just you. The doctors said I'd suffered a psychotic break, brought on by withdrawal. They said I was lucky to be alive. They pumped me full of sedatives and antipsychotics, but nothing could quiet the voices in my head. I was trapped in a prison of my own making, haunted by a monster that only I could see." Sarah found my journal in my apartment. She read about my experiences, about the thing that had tormented me. She wanted to believe me, I could see it in her eyes. But she couldn't. She was a nurse, a scientist. She needed proof. She cleaned up my apartment, throwing away the broken glass, the blood-stained clothes, the remnants of my shattered sanity. But she couldn't erase the feeling of unease that lingered in the air. A cold spot in the corner of the room, a distorted reflection in the mirror, a whisper in the dark. One day she went back to my apartment to pick up the last of my things. As she was leaving, she noticed something strange, a series of scratches on the inside of the bedroom door. Deep gouged marks that looked like they had been made by something with sharp claws. She stared at them for a long time, her blood running cold. Then she closed the door and walked away. "I'm still institutionalized. They say I'm getting better. The voices are quieter, the hallucinations less frequent. But I know it's not gone. It's just waiting. And sometimes, when I'm alone in my room, I can feel it watching me. I can feel its breath on my neck. I can see its twisted, malevolent grin. It's not outside anymore. It's inside me."